Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create 360-degree character animation like this one here. You will be able to do characters as well as object. There are a few prerequisites. Whether you are doing character or object animation, you will need to have a front view, a back view, left side and right side of your character. You can use your own, or in the description of this video under resources section, you will get today's workflow, including the input images. You can use them for testing. If you'd like to know how to generate 4 sides of a character or object, I have a video on this topic. There will be a link in the description below. Finally, you can always jump ahead using the timestamp below to any section. First thing that you'll need to do is to update your ComfyUI. If you have the Windows Portable version, you can go inside the update folder and then click on update_ComfyUI.bat. Wait for it to complete and then you can start your ComfyUI like you would normally do. The ComfyUI desktop version should automatically update at the beginning. Otherwise, you may have to go into settings, toggle the option for automatic update, then restart ComfyUI and it will update to the latest version. Once ComfyUI has started, you will see your normal workflow. In the description of today's video, under resources section, you will get all the assets we'll require for today's animation. There will be 2 workflows. One is with Subgraphs. This one is a simplified version since we are using Subgraph to hide the complexity. However, Subgraph is relatively new and it is possible that when you drag it and drop it inside your ComfyUI, it's not going to load correctly, especially if your ComfyUI version is not the same as mine. In that case, use the one without Subgraph and you will have all the connection there. I'm going to show you both. Let's start with the Subgraph version since it is simpler. Drag and drop it inside of ComfyUI and you may get this message here: some nodes are missing. Click on the X icon to close it, then go into the manager, click on install missing custom nodes. You will get a list of missing custom nodes. You may have less or more. At the top here, there will be a checkbox icon. Click on it to select everything. At the bottom here, if you have never installed these custom nodes before, it will show install. In my case, it is enable because I disable them to show you that error message. Click on install. Once completed, you will get a restart button. Click on it, confirm, wait a little bit, and you will get a confirmation button. Click on confirm to refresh the workflow. Now at this point, hopefully you don't have any missing custom nodes. Next, you will need to get the model file. Click on a blank space to deselect. Press the period key on your keyboard. This will zoom you out so that you see everything. You will see here that we have different group sections. The model file is in the 3rd group. Select it, press the period key to zoom in, and this first node inside the group is the load checkpoint node. Click on it, press the period key, and it will zoom you in. We will require the Wan2.2 rapid mega all-in-one model file. I've added a help just below the node and there's a link there. You can click on it to open Hugging Face page, and on this page you will see we have a lot of versions. Depending on when you are watching this, it's possible that there are more versions available here. During testing and finalizing this video, I've used the Mega version 1. As you can see, it is 16 days old and in just 2 weeks we have up to version 5. The versions that you see below are not going to be compatible with today's workflow. It's only the one that has Mega in its name that are compatible. You can use any of these versions, but if you're using the version 2, 3, 4, and 5, you will need to experiment to find the best settings. Now you can always go into the community tab at the top and you can see that people are discussing about the latest version here. So you can find the latest settings from one of these posts. Now let's go back to files and versions. Click on the folder name. For YouTube, I am sharing this one, but there's also a not safe for work version. Download whichever version you like. You can click on these download button here to download the file. Once downloaded, you can go into your ComfyUI portable folder, go inside the ComfyUI folder, go inside models folder. You will need to place the file inside the checkpoints folder. Go inside the folder, you can cut and paste the model file in here. You can also drag and drop the file here. Mine is here. Come back to ComfyUI. We'll zoom out once again. So click on a blank space, then press the period key, press the R key to reload the node definitions. And now you should be able to go inside the load checkpoint and select your model from here. This is the one-time setup that we'll need to do. Next, we'll go all the way to the left side and you will see we have 4 input images here. You will need to get your images. I'm going to share these ones if you'd like to test. Like I mentioned before, you can always watch that Quen image edit 2509 video to learn how to generate different sides of your character. Next, I'm going to explain the workflow in a high-level overview. For those who are intermediate to advanced level, I will show you what are the things you need to change in order to make the workflow work for you. And then you can go ahead and explore at your own time. For those who are getting started with ComfyUI, I will have another section right after this where I'm going to explain each step in detail. You can check the description for the timestamps. Let's start with the simplified version. Once you have your model, the only change you'll need to do is to go inside the input frames group here. We'll start from the top node and you will see this one is labeled front view. You need to place a front view of your character or object here. We go down, we see a left side, a back side, and then finally a right side. Place your images in here. Then we'll go into the second group, which is input nodes. In here, you can change the prompt. By default, it is man turning around. If you have an object, let's say a car, you will see car turning around. Or if you have a woman, you can say woman turning around, like this. Everything else has already been set up for you. We'll go into the output section. It's the last group that we have. And you will see we have save image, and these will save the individual frames. So if you don't want to save the individual frames, you can bypass this entire group and enable this group here. This one is to get a video out of it. So this was the overview of the Subgraph version. Now I'm going to load the one without subgraphs in case the workflow with the subgraph does not work. I will recommend using the Subgraph version first. It is simpler, but if it does not work, you can always have the full version. So drag it, drop it inside of ComfyUI. And this one, it's more complex. Actually, it's the same thing. It's just that we have everything visible at the top level. If you have a different zoom level, you can click on a blank space, press the period key. And for this one as well, we'll go into the third group. Click the top one, press period, and you will see this one has the same model. Going to the right side, we have the input frames. And this as well, we have the front, left side, back, and right side. The prompt is again in the same position. You can always go into the second group to update the prompt. That's it. You can click on the run button to run the workflow. Once completed, you will see all the frames in this section. If you have it enabled, let's zoom into the first one. And in this one, you will see it's going from the front view to the left side view. So this is a short animation of the character turning to the left like this. Now if we go down, we see the character turning from left to the back. Here, top right corner, the character will turn from back side to a right side view. And then at the bottom here, the character will turn from right side back to the front view. If you don't like the sequence for one of these views, you can regenerate for just that sequence. That's why I have it separated like this. If you want to see the full animation, how it's going to look, there is one here that will show you everything. So you can click on the first image, use the arrow keys on your keyboard, press the right arrow key and hold. You will see the full animation like this. Okay. Now, if you're satisfied with this, you can go to the right side and you will see this group for video. You can select it, click on this bypass icon or unbypass. It will enable it. Then there are a few things that you can change in this node. The frame rate, That's going to control the frame rate. I'm going to do 15 frames per second. You can toggle loop on or off, and you can change the format here. I recommend turning off save output for the first time and then play around with the frame rate to find which one would work best for your images. Once you're satisfied, then you can toggle this on, run it again. Let's select it, click on the play icon to execute it, and you will get your video. You can always right click, save it. By the way, the one with the subgraph is exactly the same. You will get the front to left here, left to back, back to right, and right to front sequence here. This will be the full version, and then here this one will be the video. All right, now I'm going to go into detail explaining each section in case you want to modify or integrate this workflow into another one. I'm going to start with the one without the subgraph. I'll explain each section here, and then I'll also show you how to create your own subgraph to get this version. We'll start from the top left. Click on the node, press the period key to zoom in, and this is going to be the front view. This image goes into a resize node, and the height and width is controlled by these two nodes at the top. If you have enough VRAM, you can increase the resolution here. The higher the resolution, the better the quality. But obviously, it's going to take more VRAM. This resizing is happening for all 4 of these images. That's why we have these 4 repeated. To collapse it into one single resize node, in the subgraph one, you'll see we have only one resize node, and it's just a subgraph. So you can do the same thing for this version. Click on one of the nodes, press Control, hold the Control key, and select these 4 nodes. Then click on this button here, the arrows going inside. This will convert it into one node, and this is going to be your subgraph. At any time, if you want to get the nodes back, you can click on this one, which will unpack it, and now you'll get the individual nodes there. Now next, on the right side here, we have these preview images. They will just show you the resolution that the final output will be. So this one will be a 512 by 512, and you can see preview of whether you are cropping your input image correctly. You can always go into each of these resize nodes to select the different method of cropping. By default, I have it as pad. This way you don't lose any information from your input image, but you can always change this to a crop if you want to cut out certain part of your image. And all 4 of these, they work exactly the same. Now we'll move on to the next section, which is user inputs. And we have only 2 user inputs in here. The first one is for the folder where everything will be saved. So if I scroll back here to go back to the output, you can see that each one is a save image node. This means that each of these images will be saved as individual images. Only this section here will save as a video. To make it easier to know where all those images are going, I have it in this format. We have animation folder. Then inside the animation folder, we'll have a demo folder. Inside the demo folder will be the images with the name ComfyUI. And then there will be underscore 0001, 2, 3, and so on. If you're doing different versions, or if you are changing your input images here, you can come here and change the middle section, the demo, to, let's say, man-1. This will be a folder named man-1. And you can see the format will be like this. You will have a folder followed by a forward slash and then the file name. You can have as many folders as you want. It's going to be subfolders, and you separate it by a forward slash. At the bottom is going to be the positive prompt. You don't have to go super complex prompt here. You just need to tell the action that you want to happen. Most of the animation would be guided by the input images. Now, next section is where the entire processing is happening. The top part is the load checkpoint, where we have the Wan2.2 rapid mega all-in-one model. Like I mentioned, you can use version 1 all the way to version 5. At the time of recording, we have only 5 versions. If you would go down here into the case sampler, you will see that I've already set it up to use the sampler name and scheduler name. The number of steps is at 4, and you will see some of these settings here. If you are using a different version, let's say version 5, the sampler and scheduler that you will need to use might differ. Once again, you can go into that link. The link will always be just below the node. Click on it, will take you to Hugging Face page. Under community here, you will see some people talking about their model, and you can search and check. Some people are posting outputs, right? So you can check the output, and you can always go into the model card at the top. Usually there will be a changelog at the bottom. Here it is, changelog versions, and it will tell you what actually changed and what you should be using as your sampler or scheduler. I'm using the Mega version 1, and you can see here we have the scheduler and the sampler name that you can always check. Now in version 2, they removed the one reward LoRa from it. You can see version 3, version 4, version 5, and you can check what changes, what is happening in there. All right, so we'll move on to the bottom section now. And this is the actual workflow for a Wan2.2 Mega all-in-one version. We start with the one video base start to end frame, and it will take a start image and an end image. Now you will see the group. Actually, let me disable the lines. You can go at the bottom right and hide all the lines. This way it's easier to see. This first group is called first, and it is related to this one here. The start frame is going to be this one here. The end frame is this one. Okay, so this is number 1. Now for number 2 here, I've labeled it as second. This is the group at the bottom. It will take this as the first image and then this one as the end frame. That is why we start here and we are ending here. And I'm basically repeating the same thing until I have a full 360-degree character rotation. Now to make this easier, in the subgraph version, I've collapsed all the section into one subgraph. This will be first, second, third, fourth. You can go inside it by clicking on this icon here, and you will see it's the exact same workflow that we've seen previously. We start at the top with a one video base start to end frame, and this one takes the start and end just like the other one. All right, let's go back. So this base is going to output images and then a mask. This need to go inside the one base to video, and this one will take a positive and negative prompt. So this is where the positive and negative prompt is coming into play. Because we have positive and negative prompt for each of these sections, for the sequences that we have here, I've extracted the positive prompt outside. This way you only need to update one node whenever you are making changes to the prompt or when you're changing your input images. And from there, it's a standard Wan2.2 workflow. We have the number of frames at the top. The model sampling is the same. It goes into a case sampler where you can change the scheduler and the sampler name. This one is already set to work best with version 1. And then it goes into a VAE decode to convert from latent space to a pixel space. And this just gets repeated for the second part, this one. We have the third part here, the fourth animation sequence is here. In the output, it's like first here, second is here, third is this one, and fourth is this here. And then you have, of course, the combination, so everything in one. Now, after the VAE decode, we are actually going up into ImageFromBatch. Because I wanted this to be dynamic, I am not sending this image as the first frame. So let's take a look at this first sequence here. We are starting here. This is our first frame, and this one here is the end frame. Because this is being generated by the AI, this last frame here is not an exact match as the input frame here. So let's open this one and we'll open the output. If I move, you can see that we have a slight shift in the lighting of the image. One is brighter, one is less bright, like so. And that's because the AI is generating the output here and not simply taking the image and pasting it as the first image and then as the last image here. Because this one is continuous, we need to go from top like this to get the full image. We need to make sure that this last frame here is the same as the first frame on this sequence. Same thing if we are comparing these two. We need to make sure that the last frame here matches with the first frame here. And once again, the last frame here need to match with the first frame here. So instead of just passing these individual images as the first and last frame, I am extracting the last frame using the ImageFromBatch node. Now, if we go down here, we can see that the number of frames is 41. You will need to use the 4+1 rule when you are selecting the number of frames. If you want more frames, so a smoother animation, you can go to 81. We're basically doing 80, which is divisible by 4, and then you will plus 1 to it. So we get 81. Okay, so the number that you want to see must be divisible by 4. Just add 1 with it. So 40 is divisible by 4. I'm adding 1 to it, get 41. You can do 8 plus 1, which would be 9. However, if you don't have enough frames, the animation will end in the middle. You will not reach the end. I've tested both 41 and 81. Both of them works really well. 81 frames in each of these nodes will give you a longer animation for these sequences. Basically, the turning effect of the character will be slower. In this case, since we have only 41, it is a little bit faster than if we were to use 81. All right, back to this image from batch. Whatever number of frames that you're using, you'll come into the image from batch and then update the batch index here. We need to get the last frame, which is number 41. Actually, since this is index based, code wise or programmer wise, you will need to type in 40 since we start counting from number 0. But the ComfyUI developers accounted for this. If you input a number which is higher than your batch count, in our case, the batch is 41 images. And if you put a number like 999 here, in code, it will automatically get the last image. So just to make things simpler, you can put it as the number of frames that you have here. You will always get the last image. We need to extract the last image from each of these sequences so that we can continue the motion and not get this distortion when we are transitioning from one sequence to another. And that's why we have 3 image from batch, since we need to get the last frame from this one, put it here, get the last frame from this one, place it here, get the last frame from this one and place it here. So that is 1, 2, and 3. The last one does not require extracting the last frame since the animation is ending here. If you want to extend the video, instead of just having 4 images, you want to have 8 input images. You can always copy the input image, copy the resize node. If you want to see a preview, you can copy the preview. As you can see, this image, it goes down into this node here. So copy everything from this, paste it down, and then you'll simply need to continue the motion. The last frame from the previous sequence becomes the start image, and then your image will become the end image. And you keep repeating this as many times as you want. This is a little bit of an advanced workflow, so you can always look at this version where everything is at the top level to understand it. Now let's switch to the Subgraph version, which is this one. And this one is simpler because everything is hidden. It just has this Wan2.2. This node contains everything. And this is for the first sequence, second sequence, third, and fourth. If you want to extend this, you can duplicate this one. The VAE clip and model is going to be the same. Your start frame will be the end frame from the previous node, okay? Get an image from batch node like this one. We say this one is outputting images. So take this image, place it into your image from batch. Now this one, because we have 41 here and in our animation sequence, we are doing 41 frames. This is going to be the last frame. This last frame will become the start frame and we'll need a new load image. This can be a different image. Let's say a full version of your character. This image goes here and just connect everything. It will give you the images. You can have a preview node or save node. Just connect it somewhere here. so that you actually see the output. The subgraph one is easier to extend if you need to, since you only need to copy this node and then to continue the motion, get an image from batch and just connect it with a start and end frame. That is the only thing that you'll need to do. Of course, you'll need to get your input image. In this version, you'll need to copy this entire group in order to extend everything. Now, this one was an advanced version. It's a little bit difficult. That is why I did not include this part in my previous video. So hopefully by now, whether you're using the subgraph version or the full version, should be able to drag your images in these load image nodes, update your prompt, update where you want the individual images to be saved, enable or disable this section depending on whether you want to see the individual frames or not, and then enable, disable this section if you want to get the full video animation. Okay, now I'm going to play the animation and I'm going to tell you exactly how this version was done. So this first frame that you're seeing is the front that we have here, this one. And you can see it start to do the turning animation into left side and then the back, and then we come back to the beginning. Now notice how the hairstyle is going in this direction, and it is the same in the first section. When the character turns around, the hairstyle is still matching. Even in the back, you can see that it's matching, and when they start to turn towards the right side, you can see again it's the same hairstyle. By default, in this workflow, as I've showed you, you will only be able to get to this part of the video, so around 12 seconds. I've extended it by adding a full shot of the character. So you can see the camera goes from a close-up shot to a far away shot like this. Okay, so maybe you can take this as a homework, like practice. I've already showed you how you can extend this section, and I'm also sharing all the assets for you to try out. This is the front of the person. We have the left side, the back, the right side, and I'm also sharing the full image of the person. You can always use that. You can also do object animation. So I'm giving you this asset where you can animate the car as well. Now let's take a look at version 1 here. If you generate your 4 side images with the Qwen image edit for views.json, this is the workflow I shared in my previous video, you will get a sort of glitch when the character has a very distinct hairstyle. So at this point here, let's go slow. You can see that the hairstyle, we have a line here, but when the character is turning, the line is on this side, right? And that is because I use the symmetry version, the one where the left and right side are exactly the same, just flip. So if you're having these type of issues, download the updated version. In the description of the video, you will see we have this that says Qwen image edit 4 views, left and right asymmetry. Example, this one would be for a car, and you can see you can do object animation, exactly the same thing. At this point here, I'm going to pause, and you can see the lights, they switch on and then switch off. I was able to achieve this by modifying the input image. My original input image did not have the lights on like this. So I went into Photoshop and just manually painted colors in here, like a bright red color like this. And the AI was able to interpret it as if the lights was turning on, turning off. So you can always manually adjust the frames, which is why I really like saving the individual frames. I get most control out of it. Now, last one is an example of where I tried to do an optical, sort of like a visual illusion. So let's take a look at this. We see the back of the car here, and I'm going to follow the back of the car using my mouse pointer here, and it goes towards this side here. Now it's at the back. We turn, and you can see I've lost it. It actually jumped into the front of the image. If I slowly go frame by frame, you will see the back here is slowly changing into the front side like this. And you can achieve these type of visual illusion by simply changing the position of your input frames. Instead of placing the left side on this here, you can place the right side here. Same thing, instead of placing the back side here, you can place the left side here, and then just click on the run button, see what happens. Now for characters like this, it might not work well since you kind of expect the character to turn in a certain direction. But when it comes to objects, you can definitely use it for that purpose. This one was definitely a complicated workflow. I recommend selecting these 3 nodes and then disabling them. Just click on the bypass icon, just disable them. You can come here, select these nodes that isn't required and disable these as well. And just focus on the first sequence. See how this one works. In the image from batch, you can take the image output, drag out and get a preview to see what the preview is, and then slowly enable each section and see how it's impacting how they are connected. If you have any difficulty, any questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. I would like to say a big thank you to all of my Patreon members supporting the channel, and thank you for watching until the very end. Have a nice day, take care, I will see you next time.